treatment response area here. This is where you might spend about 50% of your time fixing and adjusting. Now, vital signs. You can enter them manually on the fly as they happen here in this field. When you're taking vital signs, we click on primary assessment, add. This comes up. Make sure the time is good. Make sure your name is going to be auto-populated there. But if someone else does it, you can select your partner here as they took the vital signs for you. All right. Generally, the top left-hand corner of each section is normal. So if I was going to go through and have a patient, if they're in zero distress, that I know I can just fly on the top left-hand corner like this, and everything's just pretty much normal. Palpated regularly, cuff automated, regular, so on and so forth. However, if you have a patient that's in significant distress, or you have less than normal findings, make sure you pump the brakes a little bit, slow down, and make sure you're reading each one of these. So maybe they're not totally alert. There's an airway evaluation that you can do here as well. Their LOC, and then this final Glasgow Coma Scale qualifier, were they chemically sedated, intubated? There's some reason why they would have a low GCS but not be in, like distress. So it totals up the Glasgow Coma Scale for you. If you have a hard time doing that in your head, just open this up, enter it real quickly, and it'll tell you that. Heart rate, you can either, I always recommend, I palpate a pulse on everybody as much as possible. But there's other ways you can do it here. Obviously, if you have a baby, you can do it auscultated. Respiration regularity, just like any heart rhythm, regular, irregular. Method of blood pressure measurement, make sure you put the right one down here. Don't be afraid to take a manual blood pressure. It's going to help you out. Now, when you enter the vital signs, the blood pressure, you can do this. The tab will pop up on the left. Since I think we have external keyboard turned off. So we're going to get all our controls pop up on the screen. So the systolic BP, at least these two fields in this section, you can hit 120/80 in rapid succession, and it'll just fill out those two fields like that. You don't have to click on the diastolic part. Patient position, let's say he's seated in his chair at home. Heart rate, 95. Regular or irregular, we'll say it's regular. Pulse ox is 97%. Respiratory rate, we're going to put him down at, let's say 14, not in much distress. Just kind of clutching his chest, sitting there. Rest, or if it is normal, look at these values you can put in here. Okay. End tidal, let's say we have him on hook on end tidal. I got a really good EMT that's heads up with that. He's at 36. Blood glucose level, since he does have diabetes, we'll check that. We'll say it's 134. And you can also put high or low. If they're having one of them screaming diabetic episodes in one way or the other, then you can just hit that tablet there. You can just hit that button right there. Mean arterial pressure, that's automatically calculated for you. Cardiac rhythm. Now, if you hook up to the monitor for assessment and treatment, if you upload those vital signs, you download them again, you have to put an interpretation here, okay? So we're going to go ahead and interpret it. We'll say he's, I think his heart rate was 90-something. Sinus rhythm, you can also add stuff. You can add non-STEMI, ischemia, junctional, or you can, the different blocks are here, PVCs, PACs, all these kind of things. And after the end of that, we only put them, so let's say we did an initial 12 lead. Let's say he had a left bundle branch block with his sinus rhythm. This is a 12 lead, and we did manual and computer interpretation, all right? And revised trauma score, that's automatically calculated. Reperfusion checklist, if you have a stroke victim, then you can go ahead and click on these buttons and define those. Pain scale, let's say I ask him the PQRST, sir, what's your pain level at right now? If he says he's an 8 on a 10 scale, all right, all these turn orange, okay? That means you need to fill them out, but they're not worth any points for your total validation score at the end. See how we're down to, we're up to -5 now from -95. Okay, pain scale type. Let's say he's numeric, right? We're using a scale of 1 to 10. So provoked, he'll say he was exertion. Say he was mowing his lawn and had an onset of chest pain. quality, we're going to say it's a pressure sensation. The region is going to be left anterior chest, radiating to the back. This isn't a multi-select field, which is kind of weird, I thought, but it's not, because you could say back, arm, neck. But if you can't fit everything in there, it doesn't totally apply. You have your PQRST narrative we can fill in here. Let's say red, neck, arm. You can, whatever you want to put in there. You can accentuate the provocation. Okay, you can do whatever you need to for the pain score. Duration, we already said 20 minutes. We'll keep it right there at that level. Temperature, if you have a person of a certain age who has the chest pain or respiratory problems, this is going to turn red. You're going to have to fill out temperature. Get someone somewhere. Hopefully you got a working temperature gauge on the rig. If not, use the ones that you get from the hospital. You can hit not applicable or unable to complete, but every vital sign after that is going to ask you for one, so you got to do that to all of them. But if you enter the one here, temporal artery scan, 98 degrees, okay? It has the MLAPS criteria listed here at the bottom of this field as well. So if you have a patient, and let's say in our chief complaint section, we previously already selected CVA, then these buttons are going to be lit up red, okay? If you come here and you decide to do an MLAPS real quick and, oh, whoa, he's got some left-sided weakness, we'll just say he's positive, and these other buttons appear, okay? We always use the MLAPS/LAMS. I don't know why there's a button for that. It says there's a facial droop is absent, arm drift, a slow drift down from one side, and a weak grip on the left, and his speech is normal, okay? So it's going to calculate our LAM score for us right here. You know, anything as we go up here on these values, if it goes above that high, then we're looking towards probably a large vessel occlusion. See how this is red? We're going to click on this exclamation mark, and when MLAPS is not blank, primary or secondary impression needs to be stroke, okay? So like I said, if we had already previously selected stroke, it's going to be red. If we skipped that before, but we just found a little MLAPS positive on it, then we're going to have to go back to our chief complaint and add in our impression here. And then it's fixed. So a lot of the stuff is intertwined and tied up, so tap on those exclamation marks and figure out why it is the way it is, okay? Now we're going to go back here, chief complaint. Whenever you do a stroke, you're going to have to tell the time onset and last known well. Okay, so we have our onset. Let's say he called 20 minutes till 10, so that's like 9:40. I click this, go down here. On the left-hand side, the minutes pop up. We're going almost back an hour, so I'm going to go make sure the minutes is highlighted. I'm going to go -15 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3. About 9:40 is last known well time. We'll do exactly the same thing. Let's tap now. Go back there. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then dial it back down to 40 at the same time. And that's how you use the time tools on this thing. Okay. So now we have our last known well time. Another field just popped up for us on the assess and treat part, and that's additional stroke detail. When you go in here, they're going to do, we want next of kin. We already know that we have Jane Smith's number, and you get their phone number, but we already have it, right? I think she was 909-999-999. Okay, this was the wife, spouse would be right, spouse. All right, okay, and stroke symptoms resolved. I'll say no. And any of the secondary stroke assessments you do, you can add here. All right. I showed you the long way to enter vital signs. Now, with today's technology and different things going on, we can download the information from our monitors. So in the beginning, we entered the device name of the monitor that we're using today on the rig. So what I can do when I'm ready to download my vital signs from a monitor, I want my 12 lead, I can go and hit EKG here, then Physio Control Cloud. We'll see AMR Relin 05401, that's the serial number of my monitor. I'm going to look on the left-hand side and find the time that I turned it on. Then I'm going to hit the download button on the right. What's going to happen, whatever's on that monitor, on that little program, that PCO file is going to now populate here So you're going to get about 8, 9, 10 vital sign fields that look like this. Okay. And so this is what we look like. I got to finish these vital signs. Now, the guy was still alert. He's a no on the prior to arrival. He was top left-hand corner on everything else. He was in semi-Fowlers now. Kicked him back in a little recliner there. He's on oxygen now. I think I said that right. We did that. I don't know what happened there. Respiratory rate will say is 14. Effort is normal. We had cardiac rhythm. We had a sinus rhythm. This was just a 4 lead. We already did the 12 manual interpretation. Pain score is now, this is post nitro. We'll say it's 6 on a 10 scale. And we're going to leave those orange instead of just freaking out, you know, and not putting an updated pain scale because we wouldn't want extra work. We're just going to leave those because these fields have 0 point value to them, right? See how I troubleshooted that? I hit naloxone instead of oxygen. All right, now I'm good. That vital sign, go back up here. Yep, it's all good. No red, just these pain scales. We're going to leave those blank because, you know, it doesn't change. The pain scale number usually changes. Radiation, where it's at, usually doesn't change. Either that or just gone, okay? So now we have our 2 sets of vital signs. We're totally legit now. Probably not going to be called to the office.